William H. McRaven famously said that making your bed is going to be one of the most important skills that you do to start your day with. And the reason for that is that it starts to instill discipline at the start of your day. Further, when you look at the Anatomy of Discipline, which is a report that was released by the School of Advanced Military Studies, it explored that discipline, when you're trying to create it in a military setting, there's actually two types of discipline you're trying to create. There's discipline B, which stands for behavior, and then discipline A, which stands for attitude. While everyone wants discipline A, which is more of that motivation to stay disciplined, you don't really start there. You have to start with discipline B. You start with the behavior. And after doing the behavior over and over again, that's when discipline A starts to really thrive. And this is why I think having a morning routine is going to be the most beneficial thing for you if you want to start discipline in your life. It's very similar to something called a focus ritual, which is what you instill and practice in order to start studying intently or doing an activity that's really important for you. And the reason for that is something called attention residue. This is studied by Dr. Leroy, and what attention residue is, if you're focusing on task A and then suddenly you switch over to task B, not all of your focus goes to task B right off the bat. Some of it still stays at task A, meaning you're not intently focused on task B quite yet. Jim Kwik talks about this in his book Limitless, that it takes some time before you're able to fully focus in the activity that you want to focus on. And a focus ritual is something that you can do to shorten that time span to getting to that full focus of the task you want to do. But before we get into talking about a focus ritual and how to create it, which we'll get into in another video, we're going to talk about how to start with a morning routine. And there are 6 things that I do to focus on my morning routine, and this is what helped me along the way, and hopefully it helps you. The first is to just know your ideal wake-up time. Because we all know we have different circadian rhythms. Some of us are early birds, some of us are owls and like to stay up really late. Because if you wake up at one point in the day and you don't have a lot of sunlight, but you wake up at other points of the day throughout the week and there's tons of sunlight in your face, it's going to trigger different emotions in you. It's going to trigger different things that you want to do throughout the day. You may be feeling like you wake up too late sometimes. You may be feeling like you wake up too early and you decide to want to stay in bed. But having a consistent wake-up time is going to start to develop that habit in you that you wake up every time at the same day, and it's going to trigger into the same type of habits. The second step is to simply prepare what you need to prepare for the next day. A lot of people do this the night before, whether it be preparing their backpack or setting the coffee ready to go in the coffee maker, having your breakfast items ready to go. What you're essentially doing is you're removing the resistance that it takes for you to do those activities. And to piggyback on this, I would say that prep activities that you want to do. Like for instance, if you really enjoy having a good breakfast with some yogurt, make sure to have some yogurt in your house. Step 3 is to drink water and move around or exercise. And that's simply to wake up your body, to get the blood flowing, to get your heart pumping a little bit. And some studies have actually shown that water has been used to help gain focus in whatever activities you want to do. Dr. Noah Kageyama, who runs the Bulletproof Musician, talks about if you're losing focus when studying an instrument, try taking a sip of water, because that tends to re-energize you and refocus you on the task at hand. Step 4 is to prepare your mind, the mindset. And this is part of the focus ritual, which we'll talk about in another video, but simply taking some time, whether it be 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, to simply sit, close your eyes, and listen to the noise around you, to focus on your breath, because it tends to center yourself. What that does is it shuts out all the noise around you. It shuts out all the worries that you've got going on in your life, especially at the top of the morning. After you set your mindset, step 5 is to set your goals. And I like to journal. So I like to open up the journal, and the first 2 or 3 sentences that I have are, my goals for the day are, and I talk about whatever I plan to do that day, whether it be prepping a video, whether it be seeing clients at my work. If it means prepping dinner, then I write that down. Because now you have a to-do list and you know that these are the things to get done. And once you get them done, then you know that the day is accomplished. And if you're able to do this with a clear mind after you do step 4, you are much more focused on the task at hand and noticing what you need to do to complete those tasks. And step 6, I pick up from Dr. Huberman of the Huberman Lab, which is get yourself an adrenaline shock. And this could be taking a cold shower, or we've recently had rain here for a few days in Southern California. So I've been able to go out and just kind of walk around in the rain a little bit. And that really wakes you up. And there's a lot of studies that Dr. Huberman talks about that Doing something that you don't want to do, such as a cold shower or cold plunge, spikes your adrenaline in a way afterwards that you want to do something later. It spikes your dopamine up afterwards. So doing the adrenaline shock after you've done your morning routine really wakes you up and really pumps up your dopamine to get you going on the tasks that you need to get done. I think that's it. This was a really short video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you stick around for the next video when I talk about the focus ritual and how we create it in our own life. Take care.